Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to be with all of you again. I was asked to speak on Gṛhastha ashram and on Vānaprastha ashram. So we will begin with Gṛhastha ashram. It's very interesting. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the third canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam in one of his purports to 12th chapter of the third canto, that the whole purpose of education is that one can be free from family encumbrances, that will not go into family life. Yes, so we can see that family life is not very conducive for spiritual life by itself. Yes, because there is so many disturbances connected to family life that one's focus is diverted to many different things just to support family, just to lead a life in family environment. So, yes, but if one is not able to remain brahmachari for the whole life, Prabhupada go on and glorifies his spiritual master who was Naishtika brahmachari. That means brahmachari from birth, and he remained brahmachari till the end, or sannyasi, but still brahmachari means one who refrains from any connection with the opposite sex. So if one is not able to lead such a life, he is of course advised to marry, yes, and live properly as a Gṛhastha. One should know very well something, and please remember this, if you are married or if you are not, doesn't matter. Something is really important. Gṛhastha is an ashram. And what does ashram mean? This is a question for you. Shelter. Yes. Ashram is shelter. Shelter means some safe place. And of course, the only safe place we know, it's at the feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa and Krishna's devotees. So ashram is a shelter. And in modern times, many people, most of the people actually, and even devotees, unfortunately, enter relationship, either with a woman or a man, with the idea of enjoying, with the enjoying spirit. And every such connection ends up in misery. Lord Kṛṣṇa explains in 5th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, Yehi sansparchacha bhoga dukkha yona evati adyantavantah kanta nateshu ramati buddha. That those who are intelligent, they don't seek pleasure on this external plane. Because if you seek pleasure on this external plane, everything that that you enjoy will be finished sooner or later. Yes, it's very nature of external things that they're always changing. So if we derive happiness and pleasure from external things, we'll be disappointed without doubt. Yes, and will just be miserable, miserable, terribly miserable. Yes. So one who is Buddha, who is intelligent, who is awake, he doesn't seek any happiness on material plane. So, as any ashram, either Gṛhastha or Brahmachari or Vānaprastha or sannyas, is meant for one purpose only, and this is sacrifice. Lord Kṛṣṇa explains in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, Yagyartat karmano niyatra lokoyan karma bandhana tatartam apikante mukta sangak samachara. That perform every activity as an offering for the Lord. Yes. If you do it like this, you'll be free. Yes, you are already liberated. But if you do it with any other purpose than offering to the Lord as a sacrifice to the Lord, who is also one of the names of the Lord is Yagya. Yagyartat karmanonitra. You should perform Yagya or sacrifice for the Yagya, for the Lord who is called Yagya. Yes. And we can also remember from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, also from 3rd canto, when Lord Brahma was created, as we can say, he appeared from the lotus which grew from the navel of the Lord, and he wondered, what is my purpose? Where I am? Who am I? And then he was searching in this stem of a lotus for his source, but he couldn't find it. And finally he climbed up again to the flower, and he was wondering what I'm supposed to do. And then he heard the divine voice, which was the Lord's voice, tapa. And tapa means what? Austerity. Yes, austerity. So austerity, and then Śrīmad Bhagavatam and also our acharyas are glorifying austerity as extremely important aspect of spiritual life. And actually, as long as we are not on transcendental platform completely, every act in spiritual direction is an austerity to some degree or other. Actually, whatever we do is an austerity. We have a saying in Slovene that without toil you cannot put your shoe on. Without endeavor you can't put your shoe on. So every action is some kind of endeavor, and endeavor, of course, is tapa, is austerity. Yes. And also sacrifice. So we should know that Gṛhastha ashram is not meant for enjoyment. There is some allowance for enjoyment, but it's not meant for enjoyment. We shouldn't mix these two things. It's meant for sacrifice, for the Lord's pleasure. If we just take sacrifice without Lord's pleasure, we miss the point again. We'll be miserable again if we don't perform our austerity and sacrifice for the Lord's pleasure. And the word sacrifice means to make things sacred, isn't it? This is sacrifice. Yes. So it's so important to shape our life as a sacrifice for Lord Vishnu, for the Lord. And since it's Kartik time, I would like to connect this Gṛhastha ashram seminar to Govardhana Puja actually. Yes, yesterday we had Govardhana Puja celebration. And even before Govardhana Puja started, Krishna showed his mercy to the wife of Yagic Brahmanas. And before they came to this village of Yagic Brahmanas, where they performed great sacrifices, Krishna glorified the trees. Yes. And he said, how glorious are the trees. No one goes away disappointed from the trees. One gets fruit from the trees, shade from the trees, firewood from the trees. So trees are very magnanimous entities. And then he says something very interesting. Etavat janma safalyam dehi namiha dehishu pranar arthar diyavacha shreya acharnam sada. That one should, like the trees, with one words, life, prana artha dhyavacha, and wealth and everything, serve others. That this is our foremost duty, to serve others. Yes, everyone should serve others. Otherwise, our life is a waste. And then the whole story is very interesting because puts contrast. The Brahmanas are considered to be the highest personalities in this world, isn't it? And the trees are considered to be in the mode of ignorance. So, one of the lowest living entities. And Brahmanas are the highest living entities. But Krishna pointed out in the same chapter of Śrīmad Bhagavatam how Brahmanas who don't live for others are lower than trees who live for the purpose of others. Yes, because Krishna sent his friends to the Yagic Brahmanas who perform sacrifices according to Vedic principles to give some food for the Supreme Lord, for Krishna and Balaram. And they didn't heed anything. They didn't even respond in any way. They didn't give anything. And they were highly learned people. Yes, lived in Āśrama of spiritual master for a long time. And they performed austerities. Yes, tapa. And they were really learned. They have studied many scriptures. And they knew how to perform different sacrifices. But still, everything was useless, because it wasn't meant for the Lord's pleasure. But their wives, who didn't undergo any special kind of austerity, they didn't live in the ashram of some guru, or studied Vedic scriptures, or studied precisely the procedures of the sacrifices and so on. Immediately, when they heard that Krishna is hungry, they ran to him with different pots full of prasad or bhoga for the Lord's enjoyment. Yes. So they were much higher than their husbands. And then when they returned back, and they were forbidden to go by their husbands and brothers and fathers and so on. But nevertheless, they went to see Krishna. Yes, their desire to see Krishna was more powerful. This is another message. And when they came back to the village, in complete samadhi, actually, in complete trance. They just were crying, Krishna, Krishna, you're my life and soul. These brahmanas realized that somehow or other our wives have developed great love for the Supreme Lord, and we didn't. So to hell with our knowledge, to hell with our education, to hell our living in the Guru's Āśrama and so on, to hell with our celibacy and austerities, because we didn't show any proper respect for the Supreme Lord. And although they felt great urge to go to Krishna, like their wives went, suddenly they felt the presence of Kamsa, and they didn't dare to go to Krishna. Yes, because they were afraid. If we go to Krishna, then Kamsa's spies can inform Kamsa, and he can kill us all. But their wives were not afraid of being killed. Yes. So, this is important message for every devotee, and also devotees who enter Gṛhastha ashram, that our life should be meant for Lord's pleasure. Otherwise, all our education, Jai Shri Prahlad Singha ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Otherwise, all of our education, our austerity, our chanting of japa, and so on is useless. Yes. So, our foremost life is pleasure of the Lord. Yes. So, when we enter Gṛhastha ashram, this should be our idea. Lord's pleasure. Many times when we describe ashrams, different kinds of ashrams, and especially Gṛhastha ashram, we mention different duties that one has to perform, isn't it? This is the duty of a husband, this is the duty of a wife, and so on. But we as devotees, we should understand that our life is not based on duties. Shouldn't be. Our life should be based on bhakti. Yes, because if we perform anything out of duty, it's karma kanda, or maybe karma yoga. Not if we want result for our personal enjoyment, then it's karma kanda, of course. But even if we perform duties for the Lord's pleasure, it's karma yoga. Yes, but our path is not karma yoga. Our path is bhakti yoga. So we should understand that these duties, we shouldn't perceive them as duties, but we should perceive them as opportunity to please Krishna. Yes, this is most important in our life, to please Krishna. Not that with our duties we please Krishna. We please Krishna with our consciousness, with our attitude. Therefore, Prabhupada established Krishna movement for Krishna consciousness. Yes, Krishna consciousness. It's not the movement of performing duties for the Lord's pleasure, even, although we perform different things for the Lord's pleasure. But we should have proper attitude, proper consciousness. It should be for the Lord's pleasure. Yes, it should be an offering of our love for the Lord. So if we marry, our life should be also centered on the Lord's pleasure. And all scriptural injunctions regarding Gṛhastha ashram are there for us just to know how to please Krishna more. Yes. Because, for example, if a child is born and although the nurse is trained how to care for the child, and mother in the beginning maybe she's not, the quality of service is completely different. The nurse is caring for a child with her expertise, but the mother serves the child with her love. So this motherly love is much more pleasing, actually, even if she's in the beginning maybe awkward and cannot be as expert as the nurse is. But motherly love is beyond expertise. So in the same way, we may not be expert in performing everything perfectly, but we should do it with love of Krishna. Yes, with this consciousness, try to please Krishna. This is most important point of our life, not just in Gṛhastha ashram, in any ashram. In any ashram. If in any ashram, if we think that I will choose this ashram because it's more pleasing for me, we'll just suffer in any ashram. If we want to remain brahmacharis because it's less burdensome than Gṛhastha ashram, then we miss the point of brahmachari ashram. Brahmachari ashram is also meant for the Lord's pleasure. Yes. So we should live just to please the Lord, and the Lord manifests in our life as Guru. And the foremost relationship with the Lord in this material world is through our spiritual master. Sakshat Haritva Samasta Shastra. It's mentioned. We sing every day how spiritual master is directly our Lord. And Lord Kṛṣṇa also says this. Āśrama vijanyan navan marieta karhichit. Namartya buddhya suyeta sarva diva moyo guru. So, he says, I'm the Acharya. I'm spiritual master. So, never be disrespectful towards him. And he's the embodiment of all the demigods, or all deities, actually. Sarva Deva Mayo Guru. Yes. So yes, our life should be sacrifice in any ashram. Sacrifice for the pleasure of the Lord. Yes. And then, when this pastime was over in this village of Yagyak Brahmanas, the Lord went. Actually, it was not at his home, but it was near this village of Yagyak Brahmanas. His father performed. He prepared. He was preparing for great yagya, again yagya, or sacrifice. And then Krishna asked him, "What do you do?" And he ignored Krishna at first. Like this, Yagyak Brahmanas ignored Krishna. Also, Nanda Maharaj ignored Krishna. But this attitude of Nanda, of course, is completely different than attitude of these Yagyak Brahmanas. Whatever Maharaj Nanda performed was meant actually for the Lord's pleasure. So he was a devotee. And he ignored Krishna and performed some duties he considered important. So, but Krishna taught him that no duty that is not meant directly for my pleasure is important, should be rejected. So, in Gṛhastha ashram, we may think that we have many duties. For example, husband's duty, if we say like this, is to provide for the family. So he has to provide money and house and everything for the Lord's, for the family. And he may think that this is my material duty. And the tendency is that we forget that Krishna is in the center of every other activity. Yes. Even mother can, or her wife can forget this in her everyday activities and chores, and some Matajis also go out and work outside. So, and they think that these are my duties. But Krishna is teaching Maharaj Nanda that these material duties are not important. Everything should be done for his pleasure. Yes. So he dissuaded his father not to perform Indra Yagya. He performed Indra Yagya as a duty because it was a custom for many generations that they performed Indra Yagya, that Indra would send proper rain, that the fields would be nourished with the rains, and cows can have nice fresh grass and so on, and everyone can live in abundance if Indra is satisfied. But of course Nanda Maharaj did it for Krishna, because Krishna was the center of his life. So most important it was for Maharaj Nanda that Krishna would be satisfied by this. But most important is that we do everything directly for Krishna's pleasure. Yes. And with love and affection for Krishna. Not just for Krishna. Yes. In 10th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā we have two verses which are together mentioned. Not in 10th canto, chapter, in 9th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. And first is Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktupahritam ashnami prayatatmana. If one offers a leaf, a flower, a fruit to me with love and devotion, I will accept this offering. And he says, Ashnami, I will eat actually. I will eat the offering. Even though flowers are not edible and many leaves are not edible. But still, he's enamored by the Lord's, by the devotee's love that he eats. And we can remember from the pastime when Duryodhana accepted the Lord when he came to Hastinapura to make peace with Duryodhana. He accepted Krishna with great festival, actually, with kirtan, because he knew that Krishna loves kirtan. And he put Krishna on the golden altar or throne, just new one, just for Krishna. And he served him in many different ways. And then he prepared great feast, the best kind of feast just for Krishna's pleasure. But Krishna didn't want to taste anything. He went to Vidura's place, and because he came unannounced, Vidura's wife was so disturbed. She didn't know what to do, because the Lord came to their house and she didn't expect him. And so in in this haste and confusion, she tried to offer Krishna bananas, but she offered banana peels and threw bananas away. And Krishna gladly accepted banana peels and ate them with great satisfaction. Yes. And he just rejected most wonderful feast of Duryodhana. Yes. So this is very important message for us. It's not the thing that is important. It's our heart that is important, that counts. The thought, the consciousness is that counts. Krishna doesn't need anything. Krishna is completely self-satisfied, Atmarama, and he's Apta Kama. He can have everything immediately, whatever he wants. Even before he thinks of something, it's already there for his enjoyment. Yes. And he has Agatana Gatana Shakti, that he can make impossible things possible and possible things impossible. Everything is possible for him. He doesn't need anything. But he enjoys loving exchanges. He enjoys bhakti. This is the only thing that he enjoys, actually. This is his Hladini Shakti. Yes. And this is Srimati Radharani. Yes. So he enjoys Srimati Radharani all the time, only. He's only interested in Srimati Radharani. And this is bhakti. So he's not interested in duties. He's interested in love. Yes. And the next verse in the ninth chapter says, Yat karoshi yat ashnasi yat juhoshi dadasiyat yat tapasisi kantaya tat kurushama darpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, just do it as an offering to me. But here we can see that it is not bhakti mentioned in this verse. And Krishna doesn't say that he accepts the offering. He just instructs, if you are not able to offer with love and devotion, then just offer. Maybe I will not accept it, but just offer. Because with this offering, you will become purified. Yes, and you will develop love and devotion gradually. In the 12th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā is mentioned, Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya. Niveshise mayeva ata urdvam asamshaya. That one should be always absorbed with mind and intelligence in Krishna. And he said that if one lives in such a way, he will without doubt achieve him. But then he says that atachitam samadatum nashaknoshi maistiram abhyasa yoganatatum mamichaptum tananjaya. If one is not able to be in such a samadhi all the time, he should engage in sadhana bhakti. Abhyasa yoganatatum. Abhyasa means practice, like drill, military drill. And then you will achieve the desire to achieve me. You will get the desire to achieve me. And this desire is the key for bhakti. Yes. Without desire, everything is lost, actually. Everything is lost. Therefore, we practice our devotional life to get real desire to attain Krishna. But not, because many times I can see that people have this idea, I will get something from my activities. Yes, for example, we live in Christian surroundings. Ordinary Christians have this idea, I'm a good person, and after death I'll go to heaven. Isn't it like this? Yes. And this is normal tendency of a human being. And also devotees, we can hear many times, I just want to go back home, back to Godhead. Yes. So this is the idea. If I do something, I'll get something. Yes. But this is business mentality. Yes. It's not love. Yes. It's confirmed, isn't it? It's business mentality. Yes. Because we have here Prahlad Nrsimha deities. Prahlad mentions this in 7th canto, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, when Lord comes and kills Hiranyakashipu. He offered different benedictions to Prahlad. But Prahlad rejected these offerings, but the Lord insisted he should take some boon from me. And then Prahlad said, I'm not a Vanik. Vanik means merchant. I'm your eternal servant and you're my eternal master. I'm not performing my service to get anything from you. As if I would perform my service with expectation for some boon, that would be, I would have Vanik mentality, merchant mentality, yes, business mentality. But I don't want to have this kind of mentality. I want to serve you with love. So this should be our attitude. Not that we want to go back home, back to Godhead. If we serve Krishna with love, we are already back home, back to Godhead. You should understand this. And there is no other going back home, back to Godhead than now. Yes. It's not something in the future. This something in the future is cheating, actually. Yes. If you're good, you'll go to heaven. No, this is cheating. Yat karoshi, he said, Yam yam vapismaram bhavantya jantyantika livram, tantam aveti kanta sadata bhavavata. Krishna mentions in 8th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, whatever state of consciousness one has at the time of death, he will attain this without doubt. So, death will not bring us any change of existence. Yes. So whatever there is now, that will be also in the future. Yes. There is also now. There is just now and nothing else. Tomorrow never comes. Yes. Have you experienced that tomorrow comes? No, tomorrow never comes. And yesterday is gone forever. Is non-existent. Yes, yesterday is non-existent. So it's illusion. Tomorrow is illusion, and yesterday is illusion. What is not illusion is just now. Therefore, atato brahma jigyasa. Now is the time to search for the absolute truth. Yes. And this applies also for Gṛhastha Āśrama. So, entering Gṛhastha Āśrama and also Vānaprastha Āśrama, which we'll also discuss in our lectures, is actually how I can please Krishna now. And one of the most important things in any kind of relationship, and of course Gṛhastha Āśrama is just about relationships, isn't it? More or less. Is etiquette. Etiquette. Yes. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita that etiquette is an ornament on a devotee. And one should ornament himself for the Lord's pleasure again. Yes. If we ornament for our pleasure, then we miss the point. We just ornament some dead thing. Yes. Like putting ornaments on a dead body. It's useless. Yes. It's useless. So we should ornament ourselves just for the Lord's pleasure. And we ornament our existence with proper etiquette. Yes. So we should understand that these duties in any of ashrams should be performed for the Lord's pleasure. Yes. So we should form our life according to the instructions of our acharyas and shastra, not because this is our duty, but for the Lord's pleasure. Yes. So, of course, most important is for Gṛhastha ashram is spiritual life. In 5th canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Lord Rishabhadev says, Guru na sasyat, svajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janini na sasyat, devam na tatsyan na patishya sasyan na mochayat syah samapiti mrityum. That one shouldn't become a guru, one shouldn't become a father or a husband or a mother or a worshipable deity or a relative also, if he is not able to deliver those who are dependent on him. Yes. So, spiritual life is our mission in every ashram, also Gṛhastha ashram. This should be understood very well. So, Gṛhastha ashram is not a step aside from spiritual life. It's a way of spiritual life. Yes. So, when we enter Gṛhastha ashram, our foremost focus should be that we ourselves are seriously Krishna conscious, and that our future spouse will be also seriously Krishna conscious. If we consider entering this sacred bond with the idea that I will enjoy, because this future wife or husband, he's very beautiful, or he's very handsome, or wealthy, or anything of material quality, we miss the point and we'll be disappointed. We will suffer. We'll definitely suffer if we enter with this idea. He's attractive physically to me, therefore I want to have a relationship with such a person. Or he has any other of opulences. He's intelligent, he's wealthy, strong, famous. These are all material qualities. Attractive material qualities. Yes, Krishna has all these qualities in full. Yes. But we should search for one who has, of course, devotional qualities, who is great devotee, and of course who has similar nature to ours. This is also important. And before we enter the bond, so we should discuss these things, that we should know what to expect. Yes, what to expect. Because if the natures don't match, then it's very difficult to live with each other. Yes. Therefore, this was great science in the Vedic times, that no people from different Varnas were married together. Yes, so that Brahmanas would marry together, Kshatriyas would marry together, Vaishyas would marry together. Yes, and Shudras were married together. And we know, even from breeding animals, that this is very important to bring pure breeds together. Yes, then we have the best outcome. And but people think that in human society that doesn't apply, but it is. It's very important to bring people of similar natures together. Otherwise, everyone will just suffer. So it should be very clear before we get in this bond that we have same natures as far as possible. Even though we can have same natures, there still will be different difficulties in life. Don't worry. Difficulties will come. But there will be more difficulties if we marry someone who doesn't match our nature. Yes. If, for example, man is very Brahminical and the wife has Vaishya nature, she will be extremely disturbed because her husband will not be inclined to earn money. He'll be inclined to just devote his time to study and teach for free, or for just some donation, and he'll be satisfied with very simple life. But she'll not be satisfied with this, not at all. Yes. But if we marry in such with these different natures, we should know the proper attitude between husband and wife. For example, Swayambhuva Manu had a daughter. Yes. Devahuti, who married her to Kardama Muni. And she was, of course, of Kshatriya descent, and he was an ascetic. He lived in the forest, of course, hardcore Brahmana, we can say. And he agreed to marry Devahuti under one condition, that when she'll have a child, that he will leave the family and the forest. He already lived in the forest, but he will leave the family even. Yes. And then he lived in extreme austerities when they married. And although Devahuti was a princess, and she was used to live in the palace and in soft beds and so on, she voluntarily accepted this difficult life, so much so that she was really emaciated. Yes. And it is explained in the verses that she served Kardama Muni with Gauravena and Vishrambena. These are two different expressions. Vishrambena means with intimacy, great intimacy. But Gauravena means with proper respect. Yes. So there and also with sweet words, it's mentioned there. Yes. So we should know this proper, and in Prabhupada in the commentary, he writes what is the proper attitude of husband and wife. Yes. And he mentions how this idea that husband in the relationship has leading position is very important, because the marriage is between a husband and a wife, because for different reasons, of course, but one of important reason is that wife is taking shelter of someone who is able to protect her, or he should be able to protect her, because she's weaker by her nature, very nature. Yes, she's weaker physically, she's weaker emotionally, she needs protection because she can be carried away by her emotions. And she has natural inclination to follow, and she needs protection not just for herself but also for her children. So therefore husband should be very capable personality. So husband should be able to protect his wife and his children physically, emotionally and spiritually, in all these regards. So husband should be very strong personality. And in modern world, men are not strong anymore. This is a great handicap. Of course, the modern society is crazy and tries to diminish the strength of man and mix men and women on the same level, but it's just sheer craziness, because no one is equal. Not two persons are equal. There are so many differences between human beings. Yes, child is not equal with the parents, and a younger child is not equal to older child, and a student is not equal to the teacher. No one is equal, actually. Everyone is different and has different role. So this speaking of complete equality is nonsense. Is actually abuse of a human being, women and man, and therefore because of this upbringing, men are weaker and weaker, and they are taught not to take care. Yes, modern society is teaching men that it's no need to be responsible. Yes, in previous times, it was unheard of that man would leave his family and children. It would be something impossible. Even in the West, what to speak in the Vedic society. But in modern world, men just leave their wives and children, no problem, and they get another wife, another children, and they leave them also, and so on. And no one is putting social pressure on such men. Yes. Oh, they're welcomed to behave like this. Actually, no problem. No one will accuse such a man, yes, of anything. Yes. So this equality is meant actually for exploitation. Yes, for women exploitation, basically. So men should be trained to be very strong and powerful, in physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And they should take good care of their wives and children. And then wives should respect this. Of course, when the girl gets married, the parents, or if she chooses her own husband, we should be very careful. The woman should be very careful to accept a very powerful personality for her husband. That doesn't mean that he's crazy, but that he's powerful in all these aspects of life. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. If he's lacking power on any of these fields, it's better not to marry such a person. Yes. Because I haven't met any woman in my life that would be satisfied with weak husband. Yes. And this refers to any part, either physical part, or emotional part, or spiritual part. Yes. So, in every regard, man should be powerful personality. And this is very difficult in modern times, especially. And because this modern society also damages women to think that we are equal with men, they don't want to follow their husbands. Actually, they have these split personalities. One is biological nature, and the other is acquired cultural nature. And both are there from birth. Biological nature is, of course, little before birth. But also these cultural impressions are also before birth. So both natures are before birth. And they're completely opposite. Biological nature of a woman is to seek protection. Seek protection from the father, seek protection from the husband, and seek protection from the grown-up children. Yes, because she needs protection, because she's weaker in all regards. She needs protection. And if she's properly respected, everything flourishes. Women energy is extremely powerful and strong. Extremely powerful and strong. So if women are satisfied, our house is Vaikuntha. And if she's dissatisfied, our house is hell. Yes. So this is woman's power to turn her life and environment in hell or in heaven or in spiritual world. Yes, this is the power of a woman. No one cares if the man is disturbed. But even a dog understands if the wife is disturbed. Yes. So, yes. So, because of this split personality, many women are suffering terribly. Many women are taking these tranquilizers, yes, these pills. Even amongst devotees, yes, they're always disturbed. They're not satisfied with anything. And if you're not satisfied with anything, you cannot be happy. Have you met anyone who's not satisfied and he's happy? It's impossible. Yes. But it's impossible to be satisfied if you're not simple and satisfied with your position, with your life. So man has this natural tendency to lead. And if he's supported in this mission, then he gives his life for his wife and children. Yes. But if he's not supported in this way of living, then he loses all his enthusiasm completely, and he doesn't care for his wife anymore. Yes, this is nature, just nature. If is she able to care for herself, if she's as powerful as I am, or even more, then let her care for herself. I don't care. Yes, this is mentality. This mentality. But if he's supported, then he gives his life. Yes, and gladly, happily, he's inspired. But it's very, very rarely seen in modern times that women are ready to follow their husbands. Yes. And husband, of course, should be very responsible and take good care of his wife and children. And foremost care is spiritual care. Yes. Our body will perish one day or another. So if we focus on material well-being of our family, we missed the point. Yes. Our foremost duty is to take care on spiritual level. Yes, to give our dependence Krishna consciousness. So this should be our mission from the beginning of our journey together. Yes, and then we should teach children in the same way, and establish our family life in this manner. Okay, we'll discuss these things next days. And did you have a question? Yes.
Thank you, Bhagavad-gītā Prabhu, for your nice lecture. Hare Krishna. I have a question. You said that women and men should only marry when they're both strong personalities, otherwise they will suffer because they are not satisfied, because there's some lack in physical, emotional, or spiritual manners, right?
Yes, the man should be strong.
Men should be strong.
Yes. It's not no need. Man doesn't care if the wife is weak, actually. But wife is not satisfied if the husband is weak.
Yeah, and we can observe, at least in our temple community, that there are not so many suitable husbands for the Matajis, and there are many people coming, but they are not so fully giving their whole life to Krishna, either in the form of a brahmachari or ready to make a sacrifice in marriage. And many bachelors are there who are lingering around and coming and going. And my question would be how to inspire people like this who are like very, also seems unsatisfied, or how to inspire them to get serious about making a step in the direction of brahmachari or proper household.
This is actually great misfortune, and I just mentioned it. It is acquired nature before our birth. Acquired nature from this society and this culture, which supports irresponsible men and free women. And everyone is disturbed, everyone is miserable. So this bachelor kind of thing, not becoming a brahmachari or a Gṛhastha, is exactly this type of person who doesn't want to accept any responsibility in life. So I'm free. He thinks like this, I'm free, I'm just free. But this freedom is just illusion. It's just illusion. So we should engage in some ashram for the Lord's pleasure, of course, not for my pleasure, that I'm free. So the only solution to this problem is our enthusiasm. Enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness. And of course, not just preaching with our words, but with our action and energy. Because these people are miserable actually. They're not satisfied, as you mentioned it. So they want to be happy. Everyone wants to be happy. No one wants to be miserable. So enthusiasm is an expression of some happiness. So when they will see enthusiasm and hear proper philosophy, they can understand, yes, I also want such kind of life. Just some preaching to them will not be enough. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And I wanted to ask you if you have a book recommendation for learning proper Krishna conscious etiquette.
Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada's books are perfect for learning the etiquette. And then you have also a booklet on Vaishnava etiquette, I believe. It was published in ISKCON. I don't know which publishing house. I don't know, it was from BBT or something. But still, I know because we have translated it in Slovene, so I know that it exists. On Vaishnava etiquette. Yes, and there is also a Gṛhastha manual. It was published in Chaupati. So one is advised to go through these things and learn proper etiquette. Yes, many different etiquettes, temple etiquette, and etiquette in relationship between devotees and so on. Yes, it's very important because our good relationships are based on etiquette. That you behave properly towards one who is senior, and the senior behaves properly towards one who is younger in spiritual life, and so many different things, and behaving properly towards the deities and so on. Yes, so this etiquette is very important. If we follow it, then we can live peacefully and happily. And if we don't, we'll end up in unlimited conflicts. And Kali Yuga is very conducive for conflict. And even if there is little opportunity for conflict, there will be conflict because of the influence of the age. So proper observance of etiquette is extremely important. Then everyone can be peaceful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Anything else? Okay. If I understood correctly, we continue this evening?
Yes.
At 5. Okay. Usually you have a Bhagavad-gītā class or?
Yeah.
Okay.
One more question.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you were also mentioning in the beginning that you were pointing out these points that we can perform all these outwardly duties, but if they are not having in mind to satisfy the Supreme Lord, they are useless, more or less. And I always thought that duty is like a very high stage, like sattva gun, like because you're doing something that is you should do, and it's like sattva gun, I thought. And
Yes.
from there you can develop to doing it with love and attention. So is it like this, and that doing it directly with love for Krishna is like the elevator also in this case?
Yes, as you
It's
mentioned.
good to do the duty anyway. It's better
Yes, as you mentioned, the duty is sattva guna. But sattva guna, there is always, Lord Kṛṣṇa mentions in 14th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, there is always struggle between these gunas. And one is prevalent now, and the next one will be prevalent next time. They're not stable. And of course, it's not bhakti. Even sattva guna is not bhakti. It's still under the material nature, and under the influence of material nature. So we should strive for bhakti. And from bhakti comes real Shuddha sattva. Yes. Nashta preshva bhadrashu nityam bhagavata seva bhagavati uttama shloki bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Bhakti becomes naishtiki by regular service. Tada rajastamo bhavaha kamalobhadayaschayi. Tada means at that time. At that time we transcend these lower influences of rajas and tamas. Yes. So by bhakti only we can rise beyond rajas and tamas, and no other means. So we should understand this. And even though we may not be transcendental, of course, if we would be, we wouldn't need marriage. Yes. Even though we are not transcendental, we should practice pure devotional service. And so we should try to do it because it's Krishna's pleasure. We should take good care of wife and children because they are Krishna's children also. Krishna is manifesting to me through them, and Krishna is giving me opportunity to serve him through them. Yes. Therefore, Prabhupada instructed these mothers to who were pujaris that children are the deities. Yes, that they shouldn't neglect their children because they are pujaris. Yes. So, but of course, they shouldn't just take care of children because this is the duty of a mother or nature of the mother, but they should take good care of children because they are Krishna's devotees. I should train them as Krishna's devotees. This is most important. So just giving them food and clothing and education is just secondary. It's not so important. Of course, it's our duty to give them the best we can in this material sense, but this is secondary. Foremost mission is to give them Krishna consciousness. If we miss this, we miss everything. Yes. So this should be our consciousness. It should be our bhakti, expression of my bhakti towards the Lord. My sadhana, actually. My family life should be taken also as part of my sadhana. Yes. Not just some side duties besides my sadhana of chanting and reading and hearing and so on. But should also be taken as my sadhana, not as my material duty. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hare Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.